So about a week has gone by and I've been trying several things off camera, and I'd like to basically go through what I've tried. First of all, I've gone through and I've resocketed most of the chips. I haven't done the 6502, but I think that's the least likely of the chips that's actually going to have a problem. But that one was already in a socket. All the others I've gone through and I've unsoldered them and put sockets on. Then I tried replacing some of the chips. The first one I replaced was this one, the WD1772. This is the floppy disk controller. That made no difference, so I put the old one back again. Then I went through and gradually over several days I replaced each and every logic chip, and that didn't make a difference. Then I replaced the static RAM chip. That didn't make a difference. Then I hit on a brainwave. I have got a Mini Pro EPROM programmer, and one of the things that can do, which I hadn't really appreciated, was it can test logic chips. So I took all the logic chips back out again and I ran them through the logic tester in the EPROM programmer, and I'll show you what happened. So let's do this on one of these chips. Let's try this one. So I'll take him out like that, and we'll take him over to the EPROM programmer. We take our logic chips and we put them into the EPROM programmer. So this one is a 74LS241. Goes in this way round. Pin 1 faces the top. There's a little diagram there. Clamp it in, and in the menu we can select our device, which is a logic IC 74LS241. Click on test, and it passes the test. So we take him out. Now we'll try that again with the static RAM chip. So I'll take the static RAM chip out. And take that over to the EPROM programmer. And again the process is the same. So 6116. Oops. Get the menu right. So SRAM 6116. Test it. Test result normal. Okay. And I did that with all the other logic chips as well. I've also tried replacing this large gate array, and this made no difference at all. This gate array I have got on order. It's coming from Germany. It's been on order for about 10 days. It still hasn't arrived. These two chips, the VIAs, the 6522s, I've also got on order, but that's been on order for now over a week and they still haven't arrived. So what I did do was take them out and swap them round, and swapping them round made no difference at all. So there you go. This little capacitor jobby here was I guess as a factory mod attached to that trace there and pin 1. So when I resocketed the chips, I moved that attachment from being on pin 1 itself to actually being on the board. That way it's easier to take the chips out. You don't have to worry about there being a pin soldered to a component. Okay, the final thing I did was take the EPROM out and check that in the Mini Pro. This doesn't lift out with the chip puller, so, and we'll take a look at that. This is a 27256 Intel, so we can select this from our menu. 27256, go down Intel, dip 28, that's correct. And this time we need to go to the device menu and say read. And that reads what's on the chip, and we can see it here. So it's read it, that's fine. One thing I was going to do, and one of the reasons why I got this device, was so that I could actually program it with Jiffy DOS and put Jiffy DOS ROMs into both the 1571 and the Commodore 128 in both 128 mode and 64 mode. So I bought a stack of EPROMs to do that with, and they are 27256s, exactly the same. But since I haven't yet got Jiffy DOS, because I wanted to make sure that the drive worked before I actually went out and bought it, what we can do is upgrade the, I think, version 3 ROM that was in the 1571. It doesn't actually say, it just says 1571 on the label, so I'm not entirely sure what that is, but I'm pretty sure it's the version 3 ROM, which is the old original ROM that has lots of bugs in it. So I've got a blank EPROM, and I've also got a copy of the version 5 ROM, which I can load from disk, which is on my network storage, which is just sat behind the laptop there. And 310654.05, that's the updated ROM. This came from zimmers.net, I believe. It's a binary file. Okay, and what I can then do is program that into this EPROM. So let's first of all check that it's blank. We want to untick check ID because these don't have IDs. They're too old, and if we leave that checked it will fail. We do blank check, and check code memory is empty. Device is blank. Okay, so now we can program it. Device program. And there we are, job done. So now we can go back to the 1571 and plug it all back in. Okay, so here we are. Let's just plug these chips back in. So that's the static RAM. That's the LS241. And I won't plug the original EPROM back in because we know what's going to happen with that. But instead we will plug in the new version 5 EPROM. I will put a sticker over the top of that eventually, but we don't really need it for the time being. So let's switch the drive on. Take that out. Switch the computer on. Don't need that. Let's put a disk in. And you'll remember this is where it all went wrong. That looks like a perfectly loaded directory. Let's try it again. It's all readable. Let's try it again. Looks perfectly good. Let's do a reset. So this should then auto load from the disk. That worked. Device number 8, system drive is 1571. Press return. Now it hasn't got this far before. It's usually crapped out. So press 1, 1571 system test. Hey, this is a bit spooky, so press 1, 0, stop sensor test. Formatted, write protected, this is write protected. Let's double check that, yes it is write protected. I haven't got any write protect tabs, so I can make do actually with a bit of a post-it note. So what I can do is I can tear up a piece of a post-it note. Just fold it over the tab like that. That way we're not risking our 1571 diagnostics disk. And we'll put this in, write protected, space to start testing. Error on track 16. That's interesting. Maybe that's a dodgy disk. Let's try a different disk. Okay, looks like we've got a problem with the 0 track sensor. Let's just try it with that one. Retry test. Oh, now that one works. Maybe it needs a formatted disk, and maybe these are not formatted properly or something. So let's just read what it says again. Ah, yes, formatted. So, okay, these are not formatted. So, formatted disk with the write protect on. Hit space. Directory Tim's Retro TR2A1328 blocks free. Perfect. System test. Now I'll put our little write protect tab onto this disk that we just formatted. Take that one out. Put that one in. Press space to start testing. Passed. Write protect sensor test. This is number 2. The write protect tab closed. Start testing. Passed. Return to menu. Read write head bump test number 3. Same again. Passed. Read-write test number 4. Write protect tab open. Okay, so write protect tab is open. Press F if the disk is formatted, press U if the disk is unformatted. Well, we have formatted it, so but it's looking very much like the problem was this EPROM, or rather this EPROM. Okay, I'll have to skip this one because I haven't got a second drive. What can we do now? We could do a test number 2, GCR Soft Error. I don't know what this does. It's some sort of error testing. Insert a blank test diskette before selecting any options. Okay, so let's take that one out. Let's put that one in. Press return, start test. It does 50 passes. Press X. Preliminary test does 2 passes. Press M, modified tests. Let's just do 2 passes for now, because I don't know how long this is going to take. Oh, did it pass or did it fail? Total pass is not 50. Well, I shall do a 50 pass test, but obviously I won't film it because you saw how long a 2 pass test took. Excellent. So the drive now appears to be working, and it looks like this was the problem all along. And if it wasn't for pure chance that I decided that I would upgrade the ROM from the version 3 ROM to the version 5 as an interim thing, I'd have probably never found it. And I would have said, this drive doesn't work. But now it does. So the next thing that I want to do is replace the linear power supply with a Meanwell, and I've got the very thing. That's for another video. Until then, if you've enjoyed this somewhat harrowing process, then please like, and I would welcome your subscription, because subs mean subs, and more people watching means more people watching, and that means I'm encouraged to do more videos. So I guess if you want me to stop making videos, then nah. Subscribe. That's the thing. Subscribe. Anyhow, until next time, see ya. It's bonus content time. So we're going to go through and put heatsinks onto all the chips, or at least all the big chips. Now these heatsinks have double-sided tape on the back, so fitting them is just a matter of peeling the tape off and sticking them on. Now we'll put the metal shield onto the back of the board. This is just a matter of putting it into place and doing up the tabs. Now it's just a matter of fitting it all back together. Okay, we've found a problem. We can't have those heatsinks on and have the chips in the sockets because there's not enough space. So these are going to have to come off. I hope you can see that. That's correct. Go 64. The advantage of doing it that way is that the drive stays in 128 mode, but we can load this. This is the first time I've ever loaded this from the floppy. Look at that. I'm going to have a look at that video display as well sometime. See what we can do about those jail bars. This is why we need Jiffy DOS. Still gets that. I saw somebody else's video on YouTube a few days ago, and that had this little and sign as well, so I think that's something that the program does. It's not my computer. Okay, the display is still a bit rubbish, the sounds a little bit rubbish, but it's working. Yay. Okay. See you next time.